All right, we need to finish up with the, I don't know, what is this guy? Is he one of the Islam, what do they call him?
He's a guy.
He's just
a Muslim
a guy. Yeah, he's a Muslim guy, but...
the teacher.
The imam. That's the word I'm groping for.
Imam.
Thank you, Lance. The imam. Is he an imam or is he just
I don't know.
He's just a radical guy who wants to bring Sharia law to Texas. And he moved here to apparently accomplish that.
I think people in Michigan and Patterson, New Jersey, they watch us play these clips from Texas and they're like, yep, welcome to the party, pal.
I'm sure they are. Well, Patterson, New Jersey, though, is grateful because they're now the fourth holiest city on earth.
How's Dearborn feel about that?
I don't know. They must be pissed because I would have thought that was third or fourth, but I guess not. So you've got Mecca and Medina, right?
Yeah.
You have Jerusalem, I think is one of their holy cities.
That sounds right.
You've got somebody else. And then you got Patterson, New Jersey. Maybe it's Dearborn. Maybe Dearborn. No?
No.
It's not.
No, because Patterson was the holiest Muslim city
in the whole America?
United States, yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this guy's been rambling on and on about the Islamization of Texas.
And it's interesting how those that defend this would say, look, they have every right to be in the United States of America. Right?
And they do.
And they do. And then the counter would be like, well, yeah, but we don't want them implementing Sharia law.
Right.
The dude is saying we're going to implement Sharia law.
Yeah, so take them at their word. It's unconstitutional. It can't happen, and yet they're trying to make it happen here in Texas. And I'm opposed to that. So, yeah, this is not about being Islamophobic or racist or whatever label you want to throw at this. It's a problem because they're talking about Sharia law. They're also trying to exclude everybody else from these areas. And they're succeeding in that because they tell you up front that 75% of your mortgage or your rent, whatever it is you're paying, goes directly to their mosque. Well, Christians are probably not likely to move into that area under those circumstances. So that's how they're getting around that, and they're really proud of it. And they're hiring people with American-sounding names, Christian-sounding names, to fight their battles in court for them. So, I mean, they're really going the extra mile here to try to establish these areas and to establish Sharia law. So let's hear the rest of what this guy had to say.
Those shopkeepers who sell the rings and stuff on the kiosks, when it's time for Salah, what do? Even to this day, they put a cloth over it and they go pray. Nobody's going to steal anything. Okay. Why? Because you will lose your hand over it.
Oh, wow.
And if you're in Medina, they don't have to take you very far because the Sharia court is right next to Masjid Nabawi. They don't have to take you very far. You will lose your hand. So the deterrent is there. The deterrent is there. And you know how many cases of recidivism? Anyone know what recidivism is? It means the person repeating the same crime. Do you know what the cases of recidivism, statistics of percentage of recidivism is for theft in a country where they will lose your hand for it? It's almost non-existent. Probably 0 point something.
You don't even know.
Because when you lose a hand, it really affects you.
Let's look up the real stat on that.
Because I only have 2 hands and 2 feet. And if you lose your hand, the next time you're going to lose a foot.
Okay.
And you will look very awkward missing 1 hand on one side and 1 foot on the other. And if any Muslim were to say they did not want to live under a Sharia, and I'm telling you, they're doing these things on purposes. They're sending out polls about whether you would like to live in a Sharia or not for a reason.
What's the reason?
I would rather you keep your mouth shut than say some of the things that I've heard being said. Because any Muslim who says they would not like to live under Sharia, they have just made a statement that exited them out of their entire religion.
Oh.
They left Islam. Their religion is gone. They have to renew their shahada if they did it knowingly. Because you're saying that you don't want the rule of Allah. You don't wish to live under the laws of Allah. You're not a Muslim.
Okay. There you go. So, that's interesting. That's really fascinating. I mean, that's a pretty hardcore stance that if you don't agree with Sharia law, you don't want to live under Sharia law, but you do want to practice Islam. Sorry, you've left the religion. Oh, wow. Okay. Whew. Have you seen any statistic on recidivism in Saudi Arabia?
Detailed recidivism statistics for theft in Saudi Arabia are not readily available. It is generally understood that the kingdom has a low crime rate, and theft is a concern, including in crowded play, blah, blah, but it isn't. And like he said, it's probably zero. So we're going to go with his good stat.
Okay.
There.
Well, if it's probably zero, then
fact-based stats.
He's probably right. It's probably zero.
Now, this says that the terrorist recidivism rate in Saudi Arabia is 3 to 4%. It says Saudi Arabia has the best terrorist rehabilitation program in the world. So if you haven't blown yourself up, we can fix you.
Oh, nice.
I guess.
Oh, that's exciting.
Kind of the thing. I guess it would be zero if you blow yourself up.
That's
You're
the
not
thing.
going to create any kind of terror issue again. I'm thinking.
Really?
I'm thinking.
Where are you getting
but
that,
I'm not
though?
good with numbers.
No,
We've
you're not.
established this in the past.
Clearly you're not. So
I'm probably not the best for numbers-themed stories.
So again, the only reason it's a problem is because they're trying to institute Sharia law. And they're discriminating against Christians and Jews and anybody else who wants to move into that area by telling them that 75% of your money is going to go to the mosque we're building. Wow. And by the way, these areas already exist. This is nothing new. As we talked about on Friday, there's a misunderstanding that this is a new thing. It isn't. There's at least 2 of these pretty big communities here in Irving, where our studios are located. And there's already an existing one, I believe, in Plano. They're just trying to make it much bigger.
Well, this would be a second one.
Okay. So it's a separate one. But this one, it encompasses, I forget how many acres. It was hundreds of acres.
150, I think.
And they've already raised, I think he said $6.8 million just on the down payment of everybody's down payment to get into this area.
And then you're going to have a bestie in Congress for Ilhan Omar.
Right.
Because this will be a congressional district. It'll just be seeded into its own district, and that'll be a national voice. And then next thing you know, you got somebody else saying on 9/11, some people did some things.
So there is reason to be concerned, I think. A lot of people say, you're just an Islamophobe. Am I? Are we Islamophobes? No. There are some legitimate concerns here, and they're laughing at us behind our backs. They're laughing at us. There was that podcast we played on Thursday or Friday, and they literally laughed and scoffed at how stupid we are because they're skirting around all of our laws and regulations, and even, the anti-discrimination laws, where you can't discriminate based on religion. And they've gotten around that. And they're really proud of it.